Okay, was. So, the way I see it, now we're in 2008, and
Hmm.
you made these plans, you're around your world trip and everything. And you told me that you had signed up for couch surfing.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
Well, it also kind of found me um, when I was searching for accommodation and costs of accommodation, just to get an idea. Uh, this couch surfing thing kept coming up in forums and in people's travel blogs. And when I first looked at it, I thought it was all very, very American kind of, yeah, really
Yeah.
making friends all around the world, friends for life, and I thought, oh, I'll leave off. But it was actually, I kept looking and I kept looking, so I thought I'd sign up for it. They can't all be on. And I remember signing up. It's I don't know, it was early-ish. I don't remember the exact dates, but I was still in Spain when I did it, and I remember making a bit of a profile. Um, Different, of course, to the online dating profile. Uh, and then I went off to bed. When I got up in the morning, I'd already got some replies. I pinged a couple off to Australia actually, in Brisbane and in Whitsundays, which is, and I've got replies from both saying, "Yeah, we'd love to host you." And I thought, "Oh, okay, this is looking good." And I kept in touch with both lots of people, and then I started doing some more. And I was asking them a bit. This is on Messenger or on Skype. Some of them used to go to Skype, um, and on paper it looked really good. You the idea of it was set up by one or two young American guys that were college students, uni students, and found the accommodation costs in like Reykjavik, I think it was, in Iceland, and that really expensive. So they came up with this idea of just sharing. It doesn't have to be a couch. But I've slept on couches. I've
Yeah.
slept I've slept in complete ensuite guest rooms where they've got their own ensuite and everything. Uh, had the whole gamut really, but that's what I tried, and
Yeah, it was pre-Airbnb, really, right?
yeah, and it wasn't monetized. In fact, it was definitely not about money. You could bring stories with you. You could bring some food or make something which might be unique to where you come from. Anything really. I made some little fridge magnets, personalized fridge magnets of my trip. But I thought, that was all really. Yes, if you definitely stay more than one night if possible. Take them out to dinner. So it wasn't always a matter of saving money. And, it's friendships around the world. Let me tell you that 20 years on, when you go 2004, no, 2008, and it's now 2024. So 16 years on, I'm still in touch with some of these people.
Wow.
So, in fact, my daughter,
So it worked better than the online dating because you
oh my God, yeah. I mean, my daughter, Rachel, she was in Australia a few years ago on a working holiday maker's visa. So she was there for 12 months. And she went out and stayed with a couple that I stayed with.
that's, there you go.
Yeah, and I would love to have her. So, yeah, it really, really was friends around the world. Um, but Wendy and Phil, we really hit it off. Phil was from the Midlands, I can't remember where. He'd They immigrated, his family, in the mid 60s when
Okay.
he was like 6 years old. And Wendy's wife, unfortunately, she was lovely. Unfortunately, she died from cancer a few years ago. But just a lovely, lovely lady. She's Australian. Um, and oh my God, what a trip. So they were planning to come to Europe at about the time before I was going on my trip. And I said, well, look, if you can work it out and fit it in, feel free and come to stay with me in Spain before I come to see you in later in the year. So that's what we did. And it was interesting. He wanted to go to the Beatles experiencing in Liverpool and things like that. See, for why? Because that's how it was when he left.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You don't imagine that it's all moved on. So that was great. But when they were coming in, there was a bit of a story that I could just, if I can add in. Famous story, really famous. So I don't know where the Was Tours thing came from, or even if it came from somebody. It might have been when we were doing stuff in one of my previous lives. It's not a tour company, obviously. It's just a name, albeit it might be a global brand, but it's just a name. Was Tours, and all Was Tours is because I am the kind of person that can sit and look at a map all day long. I'm the kind of person that can read timetables. In fact, I love it, and see what fits with what. Travel logistics, and that's why I've been quite good in the travel industry when I've been working. So I said to them, look, do you want to come over to me before I come to you? And they said, yeah, fantastic. So we put it all together. The day they were flying into Malaga, I was obviously going to go meet them at the airport, make my little sign.
This is in July, right?
This is it must be in July. Make my little sign. Put a little logo on there that I just made up there and then. Was
What did that
Tours.
look like?
Huh?
What did that?
Oh, it was only done in word art. It was something and nothing I did in 5, literally. But I was going out the door. Then I thought, no, I need a card. A paper thing. So I nipped back to my computer and did something really quickly. Just curved writing, Was Tours, underlined curved, and that was it. Meeting the Aussies, Wendy and Phil. That's what it said. And a little smiley. The authorities are not always that friendly to the Brits, and probably for good reason half the time. So I don't blame them. If we could at least all of us speak Spanish, it would be better. But, and I plead guilty as well.
Yeah. And if they've got grief, it's always a minority that ruins it for everyone. So if they've got a grief from a few, then everyone suffers for that, maybe.
Yeah. So I'm just stood there with my little sign, push my way to the front, and this guy comes up and says, "You can't stand here." I thought it was a taxi driver. I said, "I'll stand where I like, mate." No, she goes. So we're having this argument, and it's getting worse. He's saying, "You go get the fuck." So he did come back with the police and didn't say anymore, just carted me off to the police station. There's a little police station, actually, in a porter cabin, just outside the arrivals hall.
For the likes of Wozzer.
Huh?
For the likes of you. No, I'm joking.
Well, yeah. Well, you find out things afterwards. That, there's a whole business of unlicensed people picking up passengers and charging them a lot less than the
Okay.
and it's like just telling me your friends, So this copper starts with me. We're in this little porter cabin police station. He said, "What do you do?" Pick my friends, Wendy and Phil. Wendy and Phil, who? What is her last name? I don't know. Okay. What is her address? No, I don't know that either. Then he started.
What the best start was. Go on.
Then he started passaporte. And, you're supposed to carry a passport. But I used to carry a passport. I don't know many do. Passaporte. So I opened my wallet and I checked out my NIA card. No, passaporte. Checked a couple more bits. Passaporte. No, don't have a passport. Oh, and this is just getting worse and worse. And he's like closing all his books up. And he's saying, like, we're going to go to Malaga and we're going to wait there for an interpreter. So you understand what's going on. And I thought this will be tomorrow when they get an interpreter, because it can be. And it just lock you up overnight.
Mm-hmm.
All I'm worried about by now, poor old Wendy and Phil, they've
Yeah,
flown
yeah.
from the UK. There's nobody to meet them. Excuse me.
No cell phones back then, was.
No, no, they weren't, mate. Well, no, I just said to him, look, can I make one phone call? And I was hoping amongst hope that one of my copy dates, I think the one I said is Spanish, but grew up in England. I just phoned her and hoped to God she would answer the phone, which she did. And I quickly explained the situation. Well, I didn't know she was dating a high-ranking policeman at that time. Because she had a quick word with him, and the next thing, he couldn't give me all my stuff back fast enough. Took me back outside, walked over to the arrivals hall, and of course, there's Wendy and Phil well, there's two people sitting on their bags. I said, Wendy, Phil? Yeah, that's me, mate. And that was it. They were just sat there, and
How long
I
had they
don't,
been waiting, do you know?
maybe 45 minutes or so. And I think like her over the time, they're just proper chilled out Aussies, laid back. If they could have found a couple of tinnies nearby, they would have had them, I think, just sitting there having a beer, waiting for me. So that was it. And I just said to her, yeah, I'm Wozzer. Sorry about all of that. Just been arrested, but it's all good now. It's a great welcome, a great icebreaker as a meeting went. And it endeared us, that one, apart from the fact they're lovely people. Absolutely endeared us. But yeah, never did it again. Anyway, I think I wrote that in my blog in a kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah, it was funny.
a newspaper article.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was funny now. It wasn't funny at the time. That's for sure. Anyway, yeah. So that's how
Well,
Wozzer
well, right.
tours.
How long did they stay with you?
About a week. Around a week, and we did the full thing. We went to some live music gigs. Um, there's a really good one. I can't think exactly which of the beaches going down towards Callahonda. On there's one hotel there, quite nice.
Well,
Has a big terrace almost in the ocean.
all right, nice.
Can't think what it's called. So Steve and his couple of us were playing there. We went down there. We went to some really nice tapas in Marbella and other places. They just they just dropped into our lifestyle,
Yeah, there you go.
and it's as good as it gets. So that was. I mean, I never really saw a downside to couch surfing anyway, really.
Good, nice.
So anyway, that was some of my experiences with couch surfing.
Well, and that's bringing you up to when you're ready to leave, right?
Yeah, I had booked as other couch surfing people in Buenos, no, not in Buenos, yeah, in Buenos Aires were my first. Sorry, no, in Rio were my first, and then in Buenos Aires and in Sao Paulo.
All of that was couch surfing, was it?
They were couch surfing, yeah.
Ah, all right.
Yeah, not long. I mean, normally with couch surfing, you'd stay 2 or 3 nights. They say like having guests is like having fish, isn't it?
Right, yeah.
They get a bit. So mostly I think 1 or 2 nights because I was on the run, not on the run, on the trot then.
Yeah.
I'd got a schedule. Had to be in Buenos Aires. Man, like if I just talk about that, that was really I'm going to say one of the highlights of my whole trip.
All right, there you go.
Yeah, I think that was probably one of the best cities I've been to in its strange way of being quite dated. It's a city that's grown old, but quite gracefully.
Yeah.
I think really, we had a real shooting war with them, but they're the nicest people you could come across. It's a shame, really, that you have that in the background. They were ever so nice. So I stayed in, yeah, one couch surf. I did the Eleanor. Yeah, did have one that could have dropped into a little couch surfing romance. in Buenos Aires. We met a few times.
Now that sounds pretty amazing, but it couldn't have been too expensive either. That
I
which
can't remember.
it was
No,
3 weeks, but it must have been within your budget.
yeah, I'm sure all the way around. Because I wasn't staying in. Well, Australia was a bit of a nightmare. You really got to watch your money there, you know. But yeah, in general terms.